Hi BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with another weekly reading vlog. Today is the 1st of March and it is about 3:15 in the afternoon. I just finished filming my two videos that you guys will have already seen going up this week. I've got my month-end wrap-up and I had a tag video that I did. So yeah, so that's exciting. So as I like to start off these vlogs every week, I like to talk about what my reading plans are for the week. So I'm going to do that now and kind of share with you a little bit of what I've been reading today as well. Nothing terribly interesting happened today. I did go to Bingo with Mom this morning. We didn't win, so nothing really to write home about. But yeah, I'm excited now. Now that I've got my filming done, I want to do some editing, and I'm going to sit down and do that and watch some BookTube and do some reading and have a relaxing rest of my Sunday before I have to go back to work tomorrow. So, as I always do, I broke these down by category or format that I'm reading them in, essentially. So, there are a bunch of books that I want to read through this week. And yeah, anyway, the first one. For audio, I've started already Spells and Scones by Bailey Cates. This is, I think, the 6th book in a magical bakery shop mystery series. And essentially this one is about a woman who is an author of like self-help books. She's claiming to be a psychologist, but you know, as you're kind of reading into the story, it's like, has her license been taken away or what have you? And she ends up getting murdered. And our main character, Katie Lightfoot, who is the protagonist of this series, of course finds the dead body, and the story will go from there. So it's who murdered this very famous but not very well liked author who gives advice on marriages and stuff like that. So should be great. So I want to definitely get that one finished this week. It's not a very long audiobook. The next audiobook, and that is also part of, I'm reading that one for March Mystery Madness. The next one I'm also reading for March Mystery Madness, and I want to read these two right at the beginning of the month because, like, the Spells and Scones, and this one because both are due back at the library soon because I borrowed them both on audio from the library. And the next one is Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo, I think it is. I think I was saying Castellano. I think it's just Castillo. Sorry if I was pronouncing that incorrectly. And this is the second book in the Kate Burkholder series. This is a thriller mystery that takes place in Amish country. Our main character, Kate Burkholder, is former Amish. She left the church many, many years ago and is now chief of police in this small town where the Amish and the English kind of cohabitate with each other in a way. They are separate, but do have interactions with each other. So this one is going to be a little bit more thriller-esque, a little bit more police procedural, I think. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I really, really liked the first book in the series that I read last year. So that one I'm also hoping to finish this week. And when I say this week, I mean before Saturday night. And then I'm thinking about starting, like, on Saturday if I have time. I'll be starting Other Words for Home by Jasmine Wega, I think is how you say her name. This is a middle grade fiction novel that I am reading for middle grade March, and it's about a young girl who was born in Syria and comes to the US and how different she finds the culture and things like that. So this is a very short audiobook. I think it comes in right at 4 hours. So this will be a very, very quick listen for me, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Print and ebooks. So currently today, I haven't started it yet, but I will be starting it this afternoon, is From Alaska with Love by Allie James. This is a contemporary romance novel, and it is about a woman I think she travels to Alaska and to meet some guy, and he is former armed forces, I think. So he's military or former military, and he's living in Alaska. So I'm not too sure exactly where the story is going to go from there. I kind of had a little look on Goodreads, not on purpose, but I was marking the book as want to read on Goodreads or whatever the case may be. And I noticed right away because, like, your friends, the people that you have tagged as your friend, are often, you can see their reviews. And I noticed that some people did not particularly like this book. So I'm going into it with an open mind. I didn't read why they didn't like it, but I'm trying not to think about that. And I'm just going to go ahead and read the book. But I will definitely keep you guys updated this week. The next one that I will be reading, I will be starting and finishing From Alaska with Love, and then I'll also be starting and finishing Chic's Scandal by Lucy Munro. This is a Harlequin Presents novel. This is part of my Stacking the Series challenge. It is the first book in the Chatsfield series, and this is a relatively short book. It's right around 190 pages long. I believe it takes place in London, but that's about all that I know about it. You can see the cover up here. Clearly it's going to be some sort of a very wealthy well-to-do people, and yeah, I'm interested. It'll be good. And then I hope to start Undercover Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams, which is the second book in the Bromance Book Club series. I read the first one last month, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't like the main character's sister. And the main character's sister is the lead character in this book. So I will let you guys know what I think about it. But yeah, so that one, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. The first book was a lot of fun, actually. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, except for the Back to My Childhood book that I'm trying to read those over the course of a week. So this week I will be starting Hit and Run Holiday by Carolyn Keene. This is book 5, I believe, in the Nancy Drew Case File series. This is the series that came out in the 80s, and I distinctly remember reading this one a number of times as a kid. I don't remember what it's about, but I distinctly remember this cover. This cover, for some reason, is iconic to me in my head, that when I think of the Nancy Drew Case Files, this one and the cover of the first book both stick out to me, you know, for some reason. And then I always have a Harlequin print book from my print book shelf behind me on the go. And I said that for the month of March, I was only going to try and read the romantic suspense, the intrigue, or the love-inspired suspense novels in keeping up with March Mystery Madness. So the first one that came up, I was so thrilled about, because this book actually was on one of my Harlequin anticipated reads back for August of last year. And I ended up buying a copy. It wasn't the book that won, like, because I had you guys vote on them back then. And I will still be doing that. Will be coming back in March, I promise. I don't think there'll be any voting on a book, because I really want to get through the ones on my shelf. But I'll still be giving you guys the info on some of the ones that I think sound good. But I ended up buying this one anyway. And it came up, and I'm thrilled, because this is First Responder on Call by Melinda DiLorenzo. And this one is about a woman. I've literally just started it. I'm 20 pages in. She is in a car accident, has no memory of who she is, and the first guy who comes to her aid is an EMT. And he's going to help her, I guess, get her memory back, and there's some nefarious things going on. I will update you guys throughout the week what I think about this one. But it takes place in Vancouver, Canada, and the author herself is Canadian. She's from the West Coast. So yay to that. I love the fact that I'm actually keeping track this year of where authors are either born or where they currently live, because it's kind of really opening my eyes, and I'm noticing a lot more authors that I didn't know were Canadian are Canadian. For example, Simone St. James, who I read 2 of her books last month. She's Canadian. I think she's from Toronto. So that's pretty cool. And it's kind of nice to be reading some Canadian literature. But as I mentioned in another video, I do love looking at the dedications on all the books that I read. And I always look at them. And this one, because I've always said that the EMTs and the nurses are the unsung heroes of the medical profession. I mean, I owe so much to EMTs. They have done a phenomenal job. They have helped me personally. They helped my dad. You know, they were nothing but compassionate and caring individuals when they had to deal with, you know, certain things, and they're in a lot of tough situations. They are the first ones at the scene typically, and, you know, they do a lot, and I don't think that they get the recognition they deserve. And that's part of the reason that I really wanted to read this one. But the dedication is to all the real life first responders fighting the good fight. And I'm like, yes, I love that dedication. So yeah, I am really looking forward to getting more into this one. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for today's clip. As usual, I just like to kind of start these, do my little chat about my weekly reading plans, and then we will go from there. So I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye. Hi, guys. It's Monday. I was totally just sitting here talking to you guys, and then all of a sudden the camera went off. Why? Because I forgot to press record. That is helpful. So happy Monday. It's the 2nd of March. It's about 8 p.m. Garrett should be walking through that door any minute now. He finished work early tonight, but I was still eating dinner and stuff like that, so I didn't go pick him up from the train station or the subway station. So he took the bus home, and he was fine with that because it was still early. I think he's coming in now. I can hear, because the front door is just like for the building is like right here, so I can hear it any time that somebody comes in. So let's see. Did you hear the bang? No, Garrett, I was just sitting down to record. I said,
No clue that I'd be coming.
I said he should be coming in that door in any minute now. So there you go. So you got to see Garrett. And right now he's terrorizing Bernard. Bernard was sleeping so peacefully on the couch. I got a little clip of him a little bit earlier that I probably included just before this one. But anyway, reading update for today. My hair, as usual, looks like a hot mess. But anyway, 2 weeks. I'm actually getting it cut and colored. I'm very excited. So I'm not going to share with you guys what I'm getting done, but I am cutting a bit of it off. So anyway, I find I'm just wearing it up all the time. So like, what's the point, you know? Anyway, reading update. So today I am about 50% of the way through Spells and Scones by Bailey Cates. This is the 6th book, I believe, in the Magical Bakery Shop Mystery Series. It's a cozy mystery series. I'm reading this one, of course, for March Mystery Madness, and I am enjoying it. It is, the premise of the series, I think I mentioned it yesterday, is about a woman who is a light witch, and her aunt and uncle run the Honeybee Bakery. And this bakery, right beside it, there is a bookstore. And at the bookstore, at the beginning of the story, a very well-known, I want to say she's a psychologist, who has written a couple books, as well as has a radio call-in show. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Is doing a book signing. And she has some people who are not too fond of her because of advice that she's given. She gives relationship advice mainly. And like her advice tends to veer really, really weird. That, you know, you and your significant other should never have any secrets from each other, to the point where all your social media passwords, your partner should have them, have access to all your emails, all your voicemails, should know every single thing that you do every day. It's a little much. And like I said, there are some people who don't like her very much. They came into the book signing to pretty much give her a what for. And then, of course, true to form for a cozy mystery, she ends up dead. And now it's kind of a whodunit. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's quick. I've listened to all of these on audio. They are narrated by Amy Rubinate, who I think does a really great job. And yeah, it's a fun little series, and I'm enjoying it. My goal is to get it done tomorrow. It's not a long audiobook. I think it was less than 8 hours. So I think I only have like a few hours left on it. I'll definitely get that done tomorrow on my way to and from work. I am also reading From Alaska with Love by Ellie James. I am loving this book so far. It's really cute. I'm really only about 20% of the way through it. I plan on getting a good chunk of it read tonight. Like I said, I think it's only 8 o'clock. Got a couple more hours before bed. So I've got lots of time to do some reading. And essentially with this one, it's our main character's name is Sarah. And she is she's in her early 30s. And she's kind of at that point where her life has stalled out in a way. Like, she doesn't really date. She doesn't have a lot of close friends. She lives with her brother and her sister-in-law, and she is essentially a nanny to her 5 or 6-year-old niece, and named Kaylin. Kaylin or Kaylee or something like that. And anyway, but she's not just a nanny. She is on call 24/7. Her sister-in-law is a news, like she's the weather girl at the local news station. And her brother used to serve in the armed forces. I'm not sure exactly what he does now. Something with construction, I think. And anyway, they pretty much are not raising their child. It's entirely up to Sarah. And so on a whim, she's driving home from somewhere, and she hears this thing on the radio saying, oh, you know, send a soldier a card, kind of an idea. So she, you know, decides, hey, if I don't do it now, I'm going to totally forget about it. So she stops at a store and she buys, the story starts off around Easter season. She buys an Easter card, and then she ends up writing this really long letter, kind of like letting everything out. Like at the beginning of the book, her aunt was going on about how she's a spinster and all these things, very old fashioned. And, you know, she's kind of making light of it and signs it, you know, Sarah the spinster, soon to be cat lady. And she sends it off. So then you get the perspective of Quentin, who is our male lead in this story, and he is serving overseas. And about a month later, like, these letters don't get there right away. About a month later, this letter ends up on his desk. And one of the guys he, is serving with is like, open it up. Like this other guy's like, mine came from a 5th grade class, and, something like that. So he opens it and he reads this letter, and Sarah had ended up leaving her email address as well. So they have now started an email correspondence. And it's really, really adorable. I'm liking it a lot. So we shall see how the story progresses, and I'll update you guys more on that one tomorrow. I don't think I'll finish it tomorrow. I think I'll probably finish it on Wednesday. But anyway, more reading, because you guys know I always have a ton of books on the go at a time. I'm about 80 pages into First Responder on Call by Melinda De Lorenzo. This is my Harlequin shelf pick for the week, and it's so far really good. Remo is our male lead, and Celia is our female lead. In the beginning of the book, she's in a bad car accident, and he is an EMT, but he was off duty, and he kind of rescued her. And she also had her little boy with her. Now, she is suffering from some amnesia, not 100%. She remembers some things, but I guess as the story is going to progress, more and more is going to come out. She's obviously on the run from something or somebody, but she doesn't want to go to the police, and now the speculation is did she do something wrong? Because usually the only people who run from the police are people who have done something wrong. So, yeah, of course there's going to be a relationship between the two of them. It's really cute so far. I'm liking it quite a bit. It takes place in Vancouver. I don't know if I mentioned that yesterday, but it is Canadian. The only thing that kind of gave me pause is they were talking about the hospital, and she said something about her insurance card. And I thought, well, we don't have that here in Canada. We have universal health care. But then I think maybe what she meant was her, like, in Ontario, we call them our OHIP cards, or Ontario Health Insurance, OHIP provider, I think. I don't know what the acronym stands for, sorry. But essentially with that card, if I go in the hospital, I just have to hand it over to them. And, pretty much everything's covered. There are a few blood tests that are not covered by OHIP, but those are few and far between. I've only, run into one in my entire lifetime. But I think maybe the author used insurance card to make it a little bit more universal for anyone else to understand exactly what she's talking about. So it was a throwaway line, but it just kind of made me think, being Canadian and knowing it takes place in Vancouver. So yeah. And then it did say Vancouver, but now I'm starting to wonder. I wonder if it's Vancouver, Washington. Is there a Vancouver near Seattle, in the US? Let me know in the comments, because I'm too lazy to check Google Maps. And last but not least, last night I did start reading Hit and Run Holiday by Carolyn Keene. I believe this is the 5th book in the Nancy Drew Case File series. And in this one, Nancy and Bess and George, her two cousins, head to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, because a neighbor of Nancy's, her daughter, who's the same age as Nancy, headed down to Fort Lauderdale and called her mom and said, I'm staying another week. So the mom just kind of wants Nancy to check on her. Well, Nancy felt she was due a vacation anyway. So, like I said, her and her cousins head down. And at the beginning of the book, this friend, Kim, ends up getting hit by a car. And now Nancy's starting to investigate what's going on, because when she showed up at Kim's hotel room, she was having a very angry discussion on the phone with somebody about another person, and something sounds awry. So, of course, Nancy's going to investigate, and I will keep you guys updated on that one. So, yeah, so that's about all that I have for today, you guys. I will check back in tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Hi, everybody. It is about 9:30 on Tuesday night. It is March the 3rd, and I am just coming to you with a quick little reading update and a very, very, very small book haul. One book. But first, let me talk about what I finished reading today, or what I've read and what I did finish. I did finish a book today. I finished reading Spells and Scones by Bailey Cates. This is the 6th book in the Magical Bakery Shop Mystery series, and I really enjoyed it. I think I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was really cute. With most cozy mysteries, I find that, I don't know about you guys, but I seem to think that everyone is a suspect, so I'm usually right when they do the reveal at the end. And in this case, I was. I did talk about what this book was about yesterday, so I'm not going to reiterate that here again today. But of course, as per usual, the cozy mystery, the person who's murdered is not necessarily the most likable character. And, it had a lot of the hallmarks of a classic cozy mystery. You've got your female amateur sleuth, there's sometimes a love triangle. And there was in the first few books in this series. And then she did make a decision, but one of the guys came back in this one, and he's trying to manipulate her. So there's that as a secondary plot line as well. It involves a small, an animal sidekick kind of an idea. And yeah, it was really, really cute. And I did listen to it on audio from my library. The whole series is available through the Toronto Public Library on Overdrive, if anyone else is curious to check it out. And I think they're all narrated by Amy Rubinate, who does a really great job. I really like her as a narrator. So yeah. So that book was really enjoyable. Absolutely recommend. And that was the first one for March Mystery Madness that I finished. And that was for the prompt to read a book with a celebration in it. And it did work even more so than what I originally anticipated it for, because I had put it on there because, you know, the whole celebration of somebody releasing a new book. It's a celebration. But this story ends at Thanksgiving, which is a celebration. So that absolutely worked out. I'm currently reading, and I plan to sit back down on the couch. And the problem is, if I go to bed and read, I'm not one of those people. If I go to bed, I want to go to sleep. So I want to do some more reading tonight, but I can't do it in bed. I got to do it sitting out here on the couch. So I want to read a bit more in From Alaska with Love by Allie James. I am really enjoying this one. I don't know how far I am. I think I'm about 40% of the way through it at this point. I thought I was going to get it done tomorrow, but it looks like it might not be until Thursday, but that's perfectly okay. I am really enjoying this. Like I said, about 30 or 40% of the way through, and so far it's only been communication between Sarah and Gabe, our two main characters. He is, of course, serving overseas in Iraq, and she is in North Carolina. And it has been absolutely charming and delightful, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but so far I think it's pretty cute. Now, I did go ahead and look at some of the reviews on Goodreads, because this doesn't really have the highest star rating, and a lot of people were like sitting right at 3 stars, and I'm thinking, okay, each to their own. Maybe something will change as I read through it, but I try not to actually read reviews if I can at all help it, because I don't want to be influenced with what I'm reading to like read into things, if that makes sense. So the thing is that, like, I watch a lot of BookTube, which I'm sure most of you do. And, you know, somebody might mention a book and talk about it and not even give a spoiler, but just give some information. And the thing is, though, unless I am reading that book currently, that will not influence me, because if I'm looking at a review, it's something I've got to look at right away, kind of an idea. So, so anyway, yeah. I am also now about 120 pages into First Responder on Call. That was just Goran in the background. It's time for his medicines. Garrett is giving him his medicines. And I am enjoying that one quite a bit. Again, I mentioned that one yesterday, but, you know, I'm hoping to get that one done for Saturday. And I am now about 35% of the way through Hit and Run Holiday by Carolyn Keene, the Nancy Drew book that I'm currently reading, which I am really, really enjoying as well. So it's a good reading week so far. I'm quite pleased. So time for this very small book haul. And this small book haul, I blame, like most things on BookTube, I blame Steve Donahue. Sorta. This is unintentionally his fault that I bought this. So I am still like in January, like my watch later list is out of control, and I am trying to get through videos, and a lot of them are longer, which I am not complaining about. You know, give me an hour and 20-minute vlog from somebody. Chloe, she just, I just watched her, Disney vlog, and it was so much fun. But anyway, so I was watching one of Steve's videos from January, and he hauled a book in one of his, you know, infamous, mail hauls. And it was a romance, and it was Highlander in a pickup truck. And I'm like, why do I recognize that book? Oh, because I have it from NetGalley to read. It came out in February. I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm like, I really want to read that one because it sounds absolutely delightful. And it's the second in a series. Now, you guys know, I'm fine with reading stuff out of order in series. It doesn't really bother me. But if it's the second book in a series, I can very easily go back and read the first one. So first things first, I checked my library. My library did not have any books by this author, which surprised the heck out of me. And then I tried Scribd, and Scribd had some of her books, but not this series. And then eventually I landed my way onto Amazon, and I'm like, okay, I'll just buy an edition for the Kindle. When I was looking at the Kindle edition and the print book version, like the mass market paperback, the mass market paperback, you guys, was actually cheaper than the Kindle edition. That makes me so angry. I'm not saying the Kindle edition needs to be 99 cents, but if the print book version or the mass market paperback is $8.99, at least make it $5 for the Kindle, like something. The Kindle edition I think was like 9 something, or it was like I think it was $7.99 for the print book and like $8.99 for the Kindle. It was disgusting. I'm like, really? So when that's the case, I ended up getting the print version because I have Prime, so I don't pay for shipping anyway. So it worked out. So I got A Highlander Walks Into a Bar. I just love the title. This is by Laura Trentham, and this is the first book in a Highland, Georgia novel. So it takes place in a small town called Highland, Georgia. And yeah, so I'm going to read, I've now added this one, so spoiler alert, this has now been added to my March TBR, so this will get read this month. And then in April, I'm going to read the second book, so I can get that one read for NetGalley. But yeah, so that is my game plan, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And I forgot sitting down here, and I keep meaning to do it if I'm sitting down and I finished a book, to pull my my yarn. So you guys will see what yarn is going to go next into my blanket. So I'm going to go and grab that. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. So out of my my oh so awesome bag that my sister-in-law made me, excuse me, I got the hiccups, last year for Christmas, it says I learned to knit in prison. I so wish I took public transportation, because I would totally carry that with me every time on the bus. But anyway, spells and scones. So, yeah, all my little envelopes live in this bag, and it sits way up on the top of my bookshelf. So, like I said, let's see if I can do this one-handed. If I'm just that gifted. Yes, and I can. Yay! Ooh, pretty, you guys. So, these have been sitting for a while in my my container of minis. These were given to me by a viewer of my knitting podcast that I used to do. And thank you to all those people who ever did that, because that was super sweet. So these are leftovers from her own stash, so it's just in a little thing like this. I have no idea what this yarn is, what the colorway is, none of that. But yeah, so there is the next color that is going to go into my blanket. Very pretty. So yeah, so I'll put this up here and right there. And typically what I try to do with my sock yarn, or the colors I put into my blanket, is that I do that on the weekend. That is my weekend project, is to add the squares to my blanket for all the books that I finished this week. Now, how I used to work this, and how I started this at the beginning of the year, which, like, my game plan was that any book that I mentioned in my TBR, when I do my TBR video, get put in little envelopes and go in this bag. So not only have I added those ones this month, but I already do know the 4 Harlequin books that I'm pulling from my shelf this month, because I went ahead and pre-picked them, because I am reading all romantic suspense for the month of March, because it is March Mystery Madness. And I also added in here the next 4 Back to My Childhood books. The current one I'm reading, the Nancy Drew Files, the Nancy Drew Mystery Stories, the Babysitters Club book, and the Sweet Valley High book. They're all in here too. So I've added 8 extra books on top of all the books I talked about in my TBR video. So there's potentially could be a lot of squares added to the blanket this month. So we shall see how that works out. But let me know, you guys, because one of my thoughts was, when I do my TBR video, like for January, for April, is I am happy to pre-pick the 4 books, like randomly pick the 4 books off this shelf behind me, this massive shelf of books. And it goes down there too. They're double stacked, you guys. I have a few Harlequins. Let me know in advance if you want me to pick them in advance and talk about them in my TBRs, because I'm happy to do that. And then I'm also happy to mention the potential of the Back to My Childhood books that I might get through that month, because these are like relatively short. Most of them I can probably finish one in a week, and that's pretty much my goal. So anyway, that's about all that I have for this clip today. It's a little bit longer than normal, but I hope that's cool, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is Wednesday night. It is the 4th of March, and it is just after 10 at night. As you can see, I'm in bed. I was just updating my Goodreads for my reading for today, and realized that I needed to film a very quick clip. I am going to keep this extremely quick because I am falling asleep as we speak. So I don't have a lot to update reading-wise today. You know, I got a bit further in First Responder on Call. I'm over the halfway point in that book, and I'm really enjoying it still. I'm about 90% of the way through, sorry, just gotta switch hands, through From Alaska with Love by Allie James, and I'm really enjoying that one. There are a few things in it that are kind of making me go, mostly I'm finding the book to be a little bit repetitive, and I'll talk about that more tomorrow because I plan on finishing it tomorrow. So I will give you like all my thoughts on it when I do my kind of little wrap up on it. And what else? I'm about 60% of the way through Hit and Run Holiday by Carolyn Keene, book 5 in the Nancy Drew Case Files series. That one's still really good. I mean, those are just fun, you know. And I did start a new book today, and that was Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo, I believe is how you say the author's last name. Second book in the Kate Burkholder mystery series, or series. I've mentioned it before, I think. Have I mentioned it in this vlog? That it is a thriller that takes place in Amish country. And our female lead, Kate, is a former Amish, or she is former Amish. She is now also the chief of police in this small town called Painters Mill in Ohio. And there has been a very, very brutal murder. An entire family was essentially murdered. The father, the mother, and all 5 of the children. 3 of the children were teenagers, a boy and 2 girls, and then a younger boy about 8 years old, and then an infant. So this is a very, very grisly book. It is not for the faint of heart in a way. It's very graphic, you know, and yeah, I am, strangely enough, saying all that, I am enjoying it. I know I really like the first one in this series, and I am looking forward to continuing on with this one. This one will take me a few days to finish. It is my audiobook, my current audio read, and it's about 11.5 hours long on audio. So yeah, but it is quite good, even though it's very, very grisly. So anyway, guys, that is it. I'm off to bed. As you can see, I'm laying here in my bed right now, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. I am going out for dinner with my mom. My brother and sister-in-law and my mom and my niece and nephew are all taking me out to dinner tomorrow, which is nice. Garrett unfortunately has to be at work, so, and yeah, and I gotta be at work. You shouldn't have to work on your birthday. That's just like, it should kind of just be a thing that companies do. I know there are some that do it, but it would be kind of nice if it was like an across-the-board kind of an idea. But anyway, just saying. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Happy Friday. It is the 6th of March, and no, I did not record a clip yesterday. I am sorry. It was a busy day, and I went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't get home till 11 o'clock at night. So there was not a lot of reading yesterday. I've gotten some, actually, I can't say that. I did finish a book yesterday, which was great, but not a ton of reading got done yesterday other than that. So let me give you an update on yesterday, because it was my birthday yesterday. Spent the day at work, of course. As I said in, I think, a previous clip, you should automatically get your birthday off work as far as I'm concerned. Like, every company, everywhere should just do it. It's one day, you know, like, it's just, If I can get a free drink from Starbucks on my birthday, I should also get the day off of work. But anyway, so I went to work, and my mom had called me the night before, and she said that my brother and sister-in-law wanted to go out for dinner last night, and of course, you know, I was obviously invited. So we all went out for dinner, and I said to my mom when we were at dinner, I'm like, I didn't feel like coming home to just sit by myself because Garrett was working. And I said, you know, do you want to go to bingo? And she's like, oh, that sounds like fun. So her and I ended up going to the 7 o'clock bingo, and we didn't win, but it was nice to be out for a bit. And then, yeah, we finished at 9:30, 9:45, and Garrett was just finishing work at 10 o'clock, and I thought, it's only going to take me 20 minutes to get down to the subway station to pick him up, but it would take me about a half an hour to drive out to his work. So I messaged him and I said, do you want me just to pick you up directly from work? And he's like, yeah, that would be great. In retrospect, I shouldn't have done it. Like, originally he just said to me, I'll just take the bus and the subway home, don't bother coming out. But I thought, I'm already up. So I drove all the way out to his work to pick him up and brought him home. So we didn't get home till after 11 at night. And I get up at 5:15 in the morning. So I am exhausted tonight. But yeah, so I mean, it was a good day. The older you get, it's not like you're having a party with your little friends and, going bowling or something like that, although that would be awesomely fun. Who wants to go to a bar when you can go bowling or indoor mini putt? So yeah, it was a good day, and it was nice seeing, my mom and my brother and sister, or my brother and sister-in-law, my niece and nephew, and my aunt, my dad's sister, came too, which was really nice. It was difficult, and that's what I was talking to Garrett about in the car on the way home. The first year after you lose someone is the most difficult because it's, not, I missed him, not dad, meaning my dad, not, wishing me a happy birthday. And I was very emotional yesterday. There were just certain parts of the day, like when I was at work, when it was the quiet time, when it was the downtime, that I started thinking about it, and that's what I got upset. And that's part of the reason I didn't just want to be at home by myself last night. So yeah, it's that first year. It's the holidays and the birthdays, and like I said to my mom last night when we were at bingo, because we were all out for dinner, and that's tradition with our family, is that on mine, my brother's, my sister-in-law's, and Garrett's birthdays, and of course mom and dad's, is that when it's our birthday, we get to pick the restaurant, and the 6 of us, 8 of us if you include my 8 of us, yeah, all of us including my niece and nephew, would go out for dinner, and the birthday person would get to pick the restaurant. And I said to my mom last night, I'm trying not to cry, sorry guys, that I could almost see Dad there out of the corner of my eye, you know what I mean? I could hear his voice, and this is going to be a tough year. This is going to be a very tough year. And not saying that next year it's going to be easier, but it's going to be a bit easier. And, so yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional, you guys. Let's talk about some books, shall we? Tonight I stopped on my way home from work, and I decided to treat myself, and I got my nails done. I haven't done that in a while. I really like the color. It's gray, but in certain lighting it looks like a purpley gray, so it's kind of cute. The girl said to me, because my nails, I got like no nails. My nails do not grow on their own. And the girl said to me, she's like, if I want to put the tips on, like put the fake nails on? And I said, no, I just want the shellac polish done. So I had a full manicure, which was lovely because I haven't had that done in like 6 months. So I had a full manicure done and just had the polish put on. So now my nails will grow. And then eventually they'll be at a nice length. Besides, I spent all day typing on a computer that I much prefer shorter nails. But that's just me, each of their own. I see the long ones and I think they're super pretty, but they're just not for me because I would break them so easily, with knitting and doing the cross stitch and typing on a computer all day and stuff like that. These are just much more practical for my lifestyle. So, reading update. Trying to cheer myself up now. So, I did finish a book yesterday, like I said. I finished reading From Alaska with Love by Allie James. It was super cute. I think I ended up giving it 4 stars. One of the things that really kind of bothered me about it, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from reading it, because I really liked it, was the fact that a lot of the book was repetitive, in a way. So at the beginning part, it's almost like it's like part 1 and part 2 of the story. That in the first part, you're getting all these letters back and forth between Sarah and Gabe. And I think I've already talked about the plot for this book, where, she sends a letter out, one of those send soldiers letters, and, classes will do it and stuff. So she does it just on a whim. And this guy named Gabe ends up getting her letter. So they begin a correspondence through email. And, it's really cute. So I really like that part of the story. I actually like the first part better than the second part. But so in that first part, what really got repetitive and a little bit annoying was that you would read what Sarah wrote, like this was her letter to Gabe, and then Gabe would be like, the next day he would open the email, and then it would literally be the same email again, and then him, like, it was a little much. That happened about a half a dozen times. And these weren't short little messages. I mean, they were like, a page or page and a half. And then the second part of the story, Sarah ends up going to Alaska to meet up with him, which is obviously where the title of the book comes from. Although now that I'm thinking about it, the title From Alaska with Love is a little misleading because the actual correspondence between Sarah and Gabe happened the entire time that he was in the Middle East, not when he was back home in Alaska. So I don't want to give away any major plot points, but they're not exactly getting along when she arrives in Alaska. Let's put it that way. So, like I said, the title's a little bit misleading, but it's super cute, right? Like, the other thing that kind of drove me bonkers is that in the second part, when the two of them were actually together, is that he kept calling her sweetheart and angel. Now, Garrett and I are not ones for nicknames, and I have no problem with nicknames. My mom is always referred to as Sweetie because my dad's sister's name is Sandy and my mom's name is Sandy. So when the both of them, of course, would be in the same room together, he'd say Sandy, and both mom and my aunt would turn around, right? So my grandfather actually, I think, Dad and Grandpa actually started calling Mom Sweetie. So, and everybody called her that. Like, my cousin actually calls her Aunt Sweetie because he's got an Aunt Sweetie and an Aunt Sandy. So I mean, we're not, not prone to nicknames. I was the princess. Dad and Grandpa always called me the princess. First girl and only girl in the family. But anyway, like, grandchild. So, even Garrett and I, like, I call him Gare. Or I'll call him Love. I call him that quite often. Not quite often, but I'll say it. And the one that we always laugh about, Dear. Dear is not, I don't know if you guys are the same, but my friends get a kick out of it, that dear is not an endearment, like an endearment, excuse me, so to speak, is that it's more like, did you do the dishes? Yes, dear, like that. Like, when we use the term dear, it's not because we're trying to be nice to the other person. But anyway, back to the book, that Gabe called her nicknames the entire rest of the book. He barely called her by her actual name, and it was a little annoying, and actually, I'll be honest, a little creepy. It kind of made me go, I didn't like it, but that's just me. Other people, if your relationships with your significant other are different, you might appreciate that. So yeah, but I did finish that yesterday. I did give it 4 stars. It was super duper adorable. The dog in it was really cute. I read some reviews on Goodreads afterward, and a lot of people were saying the dog was one of their favorite parts of the book, and I can concur. But it was super cute and really sweet. It does get spicy. There is adult content in it, but you can bypass that and you're not going to miss too much of the story. So I do have my next mini to open because I did finish that book, but let me talk about the rest of my books first and then I will open that. So I have not picked up another ebook since I finished that one yesterday because I've been at work all day today. Now I'm finally home. Did I tell you guys? It's about 8:45, and I'm going to start doing some reading now tonight sitting at home. But I am now almost 9 hours through Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo, I think is how you say her name. This is on audio. I mentioned yesterday I don't really have much more to talk about because I do not want to give away spoilers to this. It's not a thriller. This is definitely a police procedural, but it is very gritty. It is very disturbing. I said to my mom, I was telling her about it. She's like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'm like, don't know if you would really like it. I find some parts of it hard to listen to because if you guys have ever watched the TV show CSI, which is one of my absolute favorites, it can get graphic. When they're doing autopsies or they're doing this or they're talking about that. And like I explained to my mom yesterday, it's like reading an episode of CSI. Like, it gets very gritty, it gets very graphic and things like that. So it's hard to listen to, or would be to read. But it's still a really engaging story, and I will definitely be getting that one done tomorrow. I will also be finishing tomorrow, where is it? Sorry. I will also be finishing tomorrow First Responder on Call by Melinda DiLorenzo. Again, I don't want to give a lot of this away. I am almost finished it, as you guys can see. The one closest to the bookmark is how far I need to get tonight. I need another 20 pages read to keep up, and then I will finish this tomorrow. This worked out to 40 pages a day over the last week. So I will get this one done tomorrow. Again, there's not a lot I want to talk about in this one because I don't want to spoil anything if anybody wants to read it, but it's been really, really good. Total action right from the first page. There is one thing in here that has really kind of bothered me, though, and I'll talk about it tomorrow when I finish it. One thing happens that is not really touched back upon, but I'm thinking, no, that wouldn't be the case. So, I'll tell you guys tomorrow. You're going to have to wait. And yeah, but I am really, really enjoying this one. And I am also almost done Hit and Run Holiday by Carolyn Keene. I should definitely finish that one tomorrow as well. And that is the Nancy Drew book, of course. Again, really action-packed. It's like every chapter ends with Nancy in peril for some reason or another. But it's been a really, really enjoyable read, and I really do like the series a lot. And yeah, so I'm about 71 or 72% of the way through that. So tonight I plan on reading the last 20 pages for today of this, and then I plan on starting Chic's Scandal by Lucy Monroe, which is the first book in the Chatsfield series. It's a Harlequin Presents novel. So I will be plopping down and reading some of that tonight before bed. But I am picking up Garrett at about 11 o'clock from the subway station, and then I will be coming home and crashing out. And I can sleep in tomorrow. The alarm doesn't go off tomorrow. I am going out with my mom to bingo tomorrow again. Yes, my mom's sister is she likes to come for birthdays. Like she likes to come every now and then. She's been coming a lot more often now, actually. Now that she actually lives out here. She's actually walking distance, relatively speaking, from the bingo hall. So she used to come like once or twice a year, and now it's like once a month. So we have her hooked. But she enjoys it. Like, Mom and I play, like, let's be honest, Mom and I are professionals. And we play, like, how many cards do we play? 5 times 3, 15 cards. So it's like strips of 3. So we play 5 strips of 3. And then plus there's a machine that we play on as well. And stuff like that. Whereas my aunt just gets her, like, little 3 sets of 3. And she doesn't play on a machine or anything like that. It's really, really cute. And when she wins, she's won a couple times. She gets so excited, and it's really adorable. But anyway, I will see if I can get even a picture tomorrow of the 3 of us, because my mom and her sister, they often get like, you can definitely tell they're sisters, and if you put me in the photograph with them, you can definitely see the family resemblance. But anyway, yeah, so that's about all that I have for you guys today. Oh, hello, let's open the yarn. I'm very excited to see what's here, because I should get this added to the blanket tomorrow, if I can open it. Ooh, I see green, you guys. It's green. Ooh, that's pretty. So there's the yarn. This is from the Scooby-Doo set that I think I showed you guys a number of weeks ago. I'm pretty sure this is Shaggy. This is Shaggy colorways, right? The green shirt and the brown pants. So yeah. So this will get added to the blanket. I should get at least 3 squares out of this one. But I'll put one in and then I'll put the rest away, until later on in the blanket, so they're not right beside each other. But yeah, so there we go. All right, guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Hi, guys. Happy Saturday. It is the 7th of March, and I think it's about midnight. So technically it's Sunday, but we're going to say it's Saturday. So yes, I'm coming to you guys for the last clip of this vlog with just holding the camera. Typically, I would have it all propped up so I could show you guys my knitting, but that is not the case today, because I have not really gotten a lot of knitting done over the past week, even a couple of weeks, because I haven't shown you guys my knitting in a while. I've been coming home and doing other things. I've been playing on the computer, watching BookTube, reading, doing a lot of reading, which is good. But, yeah, I go through, not stages, like I knit all the time, but I just haven't been getting a lot of progress, so there's not much to show you guys. Like, even the minis that I pulled out of the blanket last week, you can see them right there over my thumb. I haven't even put them in yet. I didn't do that today because I was busy all day today, right? So, maybe tomorrow. But anyway, so, reading update for today. Update, like, of what, not much went on today. I went to Walmart grocery shopping. Mom and I went to bingo with her sister, my aunt, and we didn't win anything. And yeah, so that's really about all that happened today. But I've been pretty much out all day, because went to Walmart, then I took Garrett to work, and then I went over to Mom's and I helped her out with a few things. Then we went to the mall and I got a new pair of pants for work, which was nice. Then I went to David's Tea because they were having a members, like if you are part of the Frequent Steepers Club, they had 20% off your order today, um, along with 1.5 times the points. So I might have bought some more tea. Then we went to bingo, and then I got home about 6:30, and I just kind of was relaxing for the evening. I'm not looking forward to. I don't like this weekend. It's the clocks are springing forward, meaning we lose an hour, and it's like, oh, it's only an hour. No, it really affects me, and it will throw me off for about a week or so, and I'm not looking forward to next week because it's going to be difficult getting up when my alarm goes off at 5:15 because my body will be telling me it's only 4:15. So I gotta get to bed now. I'll set my clock. The one in the bedroom, like my phone and my Fitbit and all that, should automatically do it. But I gotta set the actual clock I have like on my bedside table before I go to sleep, so I don't forget to do that. But anyway, reading update for today. I finished 3 books, so it's been a very productive reading day. First of all, I finished reading First Responder on Call by Melinda DiLorenzo. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I really, really liked it. I mentioned in my last clip that there was one thing in this story that kind of made me go, I don't think so. So at the beginning of the story, she's in a car accident and she ends up in a hospital, and she kind of, our main character's name is, what is her name again? Celia. And while she's in the hospital, she has a blood transfusion because in the car accident she loses blood, so they have to give her some blood, which is fine. Literally hours later, she is up and out of bed and running from bad guys. I don't think so. I really don't think so. So I found that a little bit hard to believe, but if you can suspend your disbelief in that, then, you know, you'll really enjoy this book, excuse me. This was nonstop action from the start. Like, honestly, like, it was constantly they're on the run from people and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I absolutely recommend that you go ahead and pick it up. The next book that I finished was Hit and Run Holiday by Carolyn Keene, the 5th book in the Nancy Drew series, the Nancy Drew Case File series. I enjoyed that one quite a bit as well. It was very, very entertaining. It was a lot of fun. You know, I don't really have much to say about it. It was one of the Back to My Childhood books. You know, Nancy and her cousins travel down to Florida to investigate a girl who was supposed to come home. I mean, her mother heard from her, but her mom's kind of still worried, like, why is she staying for the extra week? And then the girl gets hit by a car in the beginning, so then it's kind of finding out what's going on and what's been happening. It does have to do with illegal immigration, which I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, it was 85, right? So yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was entertaining. I think I gave it like 3 stars. That's an average rating for me. Unless one of my Back to My Childhood books like completely blow me away, the chances are that they're probably going to get right around 3.5 stars. I mean, I'm not knocking it with a low rating. It's just, you know, that's the situation. And last but not least, I finished reading Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo, the 2nd book in the Kate Burkholder series. I finished listening to this one on audio. Guys, it was so good. This one, I still haven't made my final decision yet on what my star rating is going to be. So I still have to do my update on Goodreads and my spreadsheets. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. I'm just too tired to do it right now. So I think it's either going to be a 4 or a 4.5 star. It was very, very gritty. It was very, very dark. It is not for the faint of heart, to be completely honest. I mean, it deals with a lot of disturbing subject matter. And, you know, not just, you know, we've all read mysteries where someone is murdered, but when it gets really gritty and really into it and deals with, like I said, some very disturbing subject matter, child pornography, rape, you know, those kind of things, it was a very difficult read, but it was very well written, and I really, like, I know that sounds odd to say, but it was entertaining. And you know, it's one of those books, one of those series that I could not read back to back to back because they're just too dark. So every now and then it's okay, but you know, I think I read the first one last year, I read this one this year. But yeah, I mean, if you're into police procedurals and you think that this might be your thing, I like the twist, the fact that it is set in Amish country, is different, and I think that's what makes me kind of enjoy it even a little bit more, because of the fact that our main character is former Amish. She didn't join the church, so she is kind of grappling being the chief of police because she knows the customs, she knows how these people operate. Not operate, that makes it sound bad, but how they live their day-to-day lives, you know. And yet she's still on the other side of the fence as well, being an Englisher now and working for the police force. And you know, because she decided to leave, she's been essentially banned or banished by the church. And you know, isn't even supposed to take meals with another Amish family. So you know, it's really, really interesting hearing all the customs and things like that. So that part of it I find very entertaining as well. But anyway, that's about all that I have. Oh yeah, and I did get some reading done. I'm about 60%. Sorry, my camera, sorry, that's my thumb. I'm so professional. My camera was slipping, or my phone was slipping out of my fingers. I did start today Chic Scandal by Lucy Monroe. I'm about 60% of the way through this one. I mean, like I said, this is a short book. It's comes in at just under 200 pages, so I will get this one done tomorrow. And yeah, it's essentially about a sheik in a fictional Middle Eastern country who comes to London to stay at one of these Chatfield hotels, and he starts a relationship with the head of like housekeeping, who's like looking after his area of the hotel, kind of an idea, like where he's staying. He would be her head, like she would be his head like housekeeper. If he had issues, he would go, you know, whatever. So it's okay. I mean, it's entertaining enough. These are not some of my favorite stories, just because they're a little really out of the realm of possibility in a way. And I know a lot of people really like that. That's, you know, that's why these Presents novels sell so well, is because people really like them. I am unfortunately just not one of those people. So it is what it is. But like, it's a short book. I'll finish it tomorrow, and I'll give you guys an update in my next vlog. But anyway, that is it. I'm going to let you guys go, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.